What's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming. You got James and me, George, here with you, saying hello for episode 33, Thursday night talk show. We do this each week. Glad to be back.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, James.
It's always good to see you, George.
Oh, this is cool. We're trying to do the old technique of scheduling the stream and playing with the YouTube tool, and it was cool to see y'all waiting and Zombie Dad saying hello, and I'm glad you're enjoying your night off. And hello, Kat. Good to see you as well.
He's enjoying his Friday off. He lives in the future.
Oh, weird.
Dude, he lives in the future.
That's nice. I wish I guess I
would say I've talked to someone in the future now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's been another week, and it's hard to believe. Things have happened fast. Stuff is happening much. James, have you been accomplishing things?
I've been accomplishing lots of things, like always.
Yeah, I figured.
Just rolling through. I do have a commission that has a deadline very, very soon. He has a tournament coming up, and I was kind of doing one warband a week and then display board a week to make it like a 3-week project. But now he wants these for next Saturday, so I need to ship out by Monday. So I'm gonna be pulling an all-nighter tonight.
Yes,
but I'm committed here.
Where did we meet our friend again? Did he just contact us through the YouTube page, or we see him on the live show?
Yeah, just a viewer of ours that contacted us through our Facebook page.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And he's Canadian.
Okay.
They gotta love our neighbors up north. I mean, they know what's going on up there with their recreational legal substances.
Totally. I look forward to getting to share your final work there when you're all said and done with that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I should have those pictures ready for next Thursday, because they will definitely be done before then.
That's beautiful. I'm enjoying. We got Zombie Dad was in Australia living in the future, and Stephen Witt's visiting us from Alaska. Thanks for tuning in. That's really cool. It blows my mind, people all over the world. Of course, we got Chicken Bone in. Chicken Bone, I sent you some dice, my friend. I'm looking forward to you getting those too. Oh, speaking of dice, James, I don't think we had them by last week's episode, but man, like seeing, it's a lot of pretty dice.
I think last week's episode, we said they were coming the next day.
Yeah. I don't know if you see on screen, but man, all those green dice in one place. It's so cool. Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to start rolling those.
Yeah, they're pretty, man.
You think they'll be here by Saturday? Like to me?
Maybe. I
have a tournament, and I would love to roll them there.
Yeah, I did the cheapest way, so it's not expedited or anything. UPS, be our friend.
Some sixes.
Yeah, there's a shot there of all the dice of the different flavors that we've had now over the course of this year. They are also pretty. There's been a request that we're going to have to, somebody's already pre-ordered to get the teal and purple with the gold pips. So we're going to have to get through these 1,000 and get some more of those because it's already been bought.
Well, those are beautiful. Like, I definitely want a pair of those myself.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I really just love this shot. This is actually inside the Black Fortress box, funny enough. But I love these gold and silver in this black background. It's just pretty.
It's pretty.
That's just pretty. So yeah, just getting excited. But yeah, we sent out some dice to our friends there from our live show, Chicken Bone. It's always good to have you, and we're excited about lots of things going on. I'm kind of stalling my words here because there's so much, and I want to give you guys this information in the most efficient and pleasant manner possible. There's so much cool stuff happening, but one thing what we're gonna do, y'all, is that we're gonna talk about some 3D printing stuff as we know. There's some chapter approved leaks out there. I saw Chicken Bone mention the Black Fortress Kill Team rules that just came out, also very cool.
Oh, there's Kill Team rules for Blackstone Fortress now?
Yeah, just hit, dude. Just hit.
Oh, I didn't even hear of this. You got to tell me about this stuff.
It's pretty interesting. I mean,
I have to be a Kill Team player.
I haven't got to digest it as much as I should have by now. Time has been happening quickly. I know there's been some implications of, like, are there going to be a special, is there like there's a Kroot keyword now, and they're talking, is there going to be a Kroot faction? And there's been some funny conversations that have came from it, but I haven't got to dive too deep into the rule set, particularly that I don't necessarily have a lot of intention of running them. The what the biggest thing from the Black Fortress Kill Team rules, and here I am getting ahead of myself, but the chaos in there, they thought the chaos was going to just be able to like fold into the Heretic Astartes faction, but instead they're their own faction entirely. So it's like another sub faction of chaos that you can't actually play with Heretic Astartes, which is to the disappointment of some. But yeah, it's interesting stuff. But for now, we're going to start out with some 3D printing conversation because we actually have a special guest tonight. We've been talking over the last couple weeks about how we have made a partnership with Worlds Over Run. It's a fantastic 3D design company where you can buy files and print them for your own personal use, as well as get into shop with them and help get their products out. We have a new business venture called Tabletop Alchemy, and Warp Charge Gaming is partnered with the awesome game store Battlegrounds here in the Richmond Midlothian, VA, starting a new company with 3D printers. And we are also have joined the forces of World Over Run, and we wanted to bring on Eric today. Looks like he is here with us now, and we wanted to just talk a little bit to Eric about Worlds Over Run. Eric, you with us, man? Jump on in here, buddy. What's up, dude? Check.
What's going on? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, good to have you.
Awesome.
It is Eric. He has graced us.
Thanks,
Welcome
guys.
to the show. Blam, I just see your logo.
I had to
up.
turn off the YouTube because I was getting like delay.
Oh, of course. Of course. But yeah, man, so great to have you, Eric. That now that since the last time we've talked, I know that James and I have both had a lot more opportunity to dive through your huge amount of catalogs from your numerous Kickstarters.
Have you looked at the current Kickstarter?
Oh yeah, definitely epic encounters. Yeah.
Did you see the new image I just sent? It's just sent it to James. He needs to send it over to you.
It's already been sent to George.
Oh, I'll check it out. I have a few loaded up already. I know we got the the giant figure there. He was one of the first ones you had shown off.
Right. This one is the one I just sent to you guys is the corrupt Ent. So imagine if Treebeard was suddenly poisoned and went evil.
Okay. Oh,
so,
wow. I see it now. I'm getting it. Wow, that's really cool, man.
And I'm not finished with it. Like I'm putting mushrooms on him, and I've got to do like I want to give him like kind of like a ratty like viney goatee kind of thing. But I'm not sure how it's going to work yet because it was in the sketch. But sometimes execution has to change to accommodate the printers. So
yeah. Got it up there. The corrupt Ent. The corrupt Ent.
Yeah, the corrupt Ent.
He looks like a badass. That's all I gotta say.
Well, you can't really see it because I'm gonna be releasing a couple more images of the work in progress. But he's got kind of like a whip of vines with a flail on the end coming out of one of his arms.
Yeah.
So it's really intense. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I've been working on that for the last couple of days. Amongst everything else. But yeah, man, I'm glad you guys are getting into the catalogs. I know that James and I have been talking a lot about different things and how to use things and how to print things and we were actually talking about printer settings. In fact, we found out that depending on what type of slicer you use, you can actually cut hours off of a print. So we were talking about that kind of stuff. So there's some really neat stuff going on out there.
Oh yeah, I'm finding the world to be as endless as anything I've ever looked into. It's definitely very deep, and yeah, the whole setting thing. Like as soon as you open up the expert settings, even in Cura, a free software, it just goes into a million different parameters. I think I've operated like 3 different boxes so far. Just speed is like just all I care about is faster and density. It seems like right now.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of things like that. I mean, it's such a great way to enrich the gaming world and to enrich what's going on with gaming.
Oh, totally. And that's a part, enriching or elevating. Yes, I think the Worlds Over Run motto is to elevate your game, right?
Yeah, elevate your gaming. Elevate your gaming. It's a twofold statement. It's basically get the gaming off the table and make it better. And that's kind of like it's been like the driving force for all of the stuff that we do. I say we because I now I have other people that work with me, but I mean I'm the designer and the creator of stuff. Like like I make most of the assets myself. Like for instance, this piece is from Strata here.
Totally.
This is a half stanchion, but we make all sorts of like it's stuff that we get into. Like, these are two miniature versions of the
Stanchions.
no, this one is not a stanchion. This is the Thorn Prime Mini, and you can put two 30 millimeter or 28 pure millimeter behind these things.
Totally. No,
And
I got to print some of those actually. Here's some. I got an image file right here.
yeah, which I don't know why, George, but your camera doesn't show up at all. I don't see you at all. I only see James.
Yeah, you'd only catch me on YouTube.
Mm.
Yeah, he doesn't grace us with his presence. He only graces YouTube with his presence.
We've got to get you a dead mouse helmet,
Right?
except or maybe a paper bag one.
So we got some questions and comments here in the chat here. Kat's asking, so how can us painters get the miniatures to paint? And then Zombie Dad was asking, Worlds Over Run, can you make a file for printing stained glass for Kill Team ruins? First, Kat, to get the miniatures to paint, I think that there's a couple motivations here. We as Tabletop Alchemy are wishing to print these items for you and be able to take care of all of your needs without you having to go through the ringamaroo of learning about 3D printing. But I think part of Worlds Over Run and another philosophy is that 3D printing is amazing and anybody can do it. And if you want these models to paint up, we can do it for you at Tabletop Alchemy, kind of thing. Stained glass, I'm sure that's something that Eric can handle here. Man's a master of his craft.
Yeah, I'd have to really look into what stained glass would be, because I can think of like a dozen different ways to handle doing something like stained glass. But like when I print out pieces, I print it out, and these are all test pieces. I'm just going to pull this apart here. This is just it's a white plastic called PLA, and it's got a relatively low temperature. It's very easy to work with. You can tool this, you can sand it, and it takes primer really easily. In fact, these guys are primed black, white, and gray. So if I turn it upside down, you can see where the highlight is right across here. I prime these with Stynylrez, which is made by the guys from Badger. So all of my stuff is airbrushed. I haven't gotten to painting these guys because I had to move my spray booth and I haven't rewired it yet. There's several ways of thinking about 3D printing, and although I'm partnering with James and George, there's always going to be people that have the need for them to print out their content. But for a lot of people, having your own printer is a really huge advantage as well, because you can print out, onesie twosie things, whereas, George and James are printing out like entire tables in a week because they've got the multiple machines. I've got one machine here, which is why I work with two test print organizations who I'm also partnered with, and they'll print out, a week's worth of stuff, which is, maybe a tenth of a single catalog, but they do it all in like 3 days, and the idea that everyone should be having their own 3D printer is kind of an underlying force.
Mm-hmm.
The more people that do it, the more range of product we can put out. But unless you've got stupid money to spend on having lots of printers, or you're creating a business that has printers and then you have to buy a license to print the content, most people are only going to have one or two machines, and they're only going to be able to do so much. But it's the kind of thing that I think more people need to be looking into. one of the concerns I have, I play games. I play games. I don't get to play a lot, but I get to play. I get to play a little bit of Warhammer, a little bit of D&D, a little bit of some experimental stuff. I just tried Dust 1947, I think it was, or something like that. Most of those games, it's a 2D surface. I find that to be really kind of like boring, which is why I like bridges and stanchions and flying things. And I played 1942 for the first time against a guy who's been playing it and promoting it forever, and that game's having a resurgence actually right now. And we use a piece of my terrain called the Thornhive Mega Maw, which I have one over there. It's about 22 inches at its widest.
Yeah, I got some shots. I'll throw one up. This is a piece of it.
I have one almost finished.
Yep.
Yeah. That thing changed how the game was played, because we were playing on a 4x4, and the fact that you can travel through it and over it allowed for strategies that two-dimensional play doesn't have. And I don't understand, and I've never understood why anybody would want to have two-dimensional play when we live in a 3D world, and this game is all these miniature games are technically three-dimensional. It just confuses me. So that was one of the main things with Worlds Over Run, which is, how do we elevate the gameplay? How do we change the gameplay? Because, for instance, like this stanchion's built for 6-inch height, and this is specifically to accommodate Star Wars stuff, but it wasn't. Star Wars isn't the only thing we were going after, because in fact it has a little bit of that Tau look, a little bit of that Star Wars look, whatever.
Yep.
But one of the things we were talking about was, if you're up here and you got a guy down here, he can walk under you. The guy can move his squad all around under you, and you can't shoot at him. But if he has to approach you, he has to find a way to approach you where he can't shoot at you, because he's got hard cover because of the way that the bridge is formed. And he can be, firing down on top of you. And the strategies for the games, the line of sight for the game becomes much more dynamic, much more interesting. And it doesn't add or change how it changes how the game is played, but it doesn't change the rules of the game. It just means you got to pay attention to where your people are.
Yeah.
And it makes it very provocative. And that's what I'm after. I'm after, how do I take my favorite game and pump it full of NOS,
Sure. Well, what I get a feeling of, especially with the different, the Strata and the Grove and Scorch, all these different worlds that you've created, it's for me, I want to take what I've already, and take the game, and it can become stale in the same environment.
Yep.
And being able to immerse yourself in a different world, all of a sudden the narrative begins to form a new movie. It's like getting to watch like the sequel or something to your favorite forces going at it in a new place. And that's what it's exciting too about how you continue to create more that in lots of ways can even operate together and be remixed together, and even travel between, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I don't want to reveal it, but we're talking about being at Adepticon, and we want to run a special game that uses very specific elements from the different catalogs, and really kind of shows people that even the most rudimentary style of gameplay for miniature gaming can really be changed by the environment that it's in. And instead of just putting down a handful of scatter terrain and saying, okay, let's play, now we've got something that's more immersive, more complex, more elaborate, more nuanced, if you will. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's, some people are hard. They're a hard sell. They don't want to hear it. They're like, this is the way I like to play the game. I know the rules of the game, and you're not helping us. And I'm like, you should talk to my game buddies. They're like, can't get enough of it fast enough. They're like crackheads.
Oh yeah.
They're like, you got any more of that white stuff?
Did you be a crackhead?
What's that?
Like, I'm in recovery right now. You might cause me to be like relapsing and stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I definitely have had some friends come over and see the new factory going on in my other room, and it's like, this is kind of like a meth lab or something, man. You know?
Well, that's the best. That's the best thing. You know, when people start looking at what it costs to make.
Right.
I mean, the Ender 3 was a 200 millimeter bed. 200. For those of you that don't know metric, 200 millimeters is around 8 inches. So an 8-inch by 8-inch bed. And they were going for, I think, like something really stupid, like $150 or $200 a pop, and they were selling so fast, man. And I've got one machine here for minor test printing. I want to have 4 machines. My machine costs, you know, twice that, and it's the same quality and everything. So it's like not having access is a silly excuse, because people spend so much money on this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at what it costs to print, you look at what the cost of filament is, although the price fluctuates, especially with, you know, somebody who's in office.
It's pennies on the dollar. I mean, it's just remarkably cheaper than, and the creativity that comes from it, and things that you can't get anywhere else, one of a kind items.
Yep. And the storytelling, because with Worlds Over Run, those of you that don't know, those of you that might have more questions, and if we have more questions, hit me up with the questions, because I will talk your ear off.
Yeah.
But each world is named. The name of each world, or the name of each catalog, is the personification of that world. So there's Thorn, which is kind of like an alien bug world. It's kind of like Tau meets Alien meets the Zerg. You know, it's all of that kind of spiny, bony, you know, fleshy stuff. And then Strata is kind of like did I say Tau?
Yeah,
more Tau like. Yeah,
I meant, yeah, somebody needs to correct me. Not Tau. Nid, Tyranid.
Oh well, no. You okay? Right? Yeah, Tau Nid for the
Thorn.
Thorn. Yep.
Right. Where Strata is kind of like Tau. It's also Bespin. It's also Camino. You know, both of those are Star Wars. For those of you that don't know, it's also you know, futuristic, you know, or sci-fi. So you like the shape language, the flavor of these worlds is designed for that stuff. One of the ones that I really loved working on, called Grove. Mm-hmm. Grove is kind of like a Celtic world. It's a green growing place. You know, it can be anything. It can be a D&D thing. It can be, you know, the people ask me to tell the stories about these worlds, and I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it. You go figure it out for yourself, because I've got 100 stories for each world, you know. Because that's the other thing too, is that you look at the core world, and most people are like, they looked at my world called Scorch, which is a desert world, you know, which is
I'm throwing these images up while you're going, man. And
right.
By the way, some of our folks are like, it reminds them of Dune a lot, the movie Dune.
Yeah, exactly. But here's what's funny about Scorch. If I want to make an expansion for Scorch, and I've got a couple in mind, one of them is like Stargate. One of them is like dragon's bones laid throughout the desert sands. Another one is like you know, having cities or having buildings or having things come out of the sands, like pyramids or ancient ruins and so on and so forth. You with the core world, they can go fantasy, they can go sci-fi, they can go zombie, they can go apocalyptic, they can go past, future, present. You know, it doesn't really matter to me. The core world, or the embodiment of the world, is just a starting point, so that as I grow it, as I add to it, there's more stories to tell, and more people can have access to a world that, once it's printed, they don't have to paint it. They don't have to paint it. They don't have to flock it. They don't have to embellish it with grasses or do any of the fun stuff. But they can take that thing and put it on the table and be like, bam, we're playing in this dragon's ribcage today. Sure. You know, and because, you know, not to be arrogant, but because I'm a professional artist, I have 2 degrees in arts and computer science, and I used to teach this stuff. You're going to get a high quality product for relatively cheap that you can print as many as you want. So if you were like dragon crazy and you printed out like 6 versions of this dragon to cover up your 4x6, and you're just sort of like, it is the dragon graveyard, and Eric makes the coolest, craziest stuff ever. You know, that's something that you could do. Totally. And that's what I want to do. I want to give people access. I want to give people access that need it. And I want to give people like you and James, who are printing, able to give access to even more people that can't always access it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, I love the model, man. Yeah. So it's been a beautiful thing, and I think it really is art that you're printing there. And there's a lot of free files and stuff out there, but there's a difference of quality and immersion that you get, and a completeness, because like you said, you've made such a catalog that you really can have a lot of variety and diversity, plus fairly modular, and being able to interchange the way that it builds upon itself as well.
Well, let me. I want to touch on that real quickly, because I think there's a lot of people that don't understand the modular factor.
Sure.
I'm associated with I believe his name is I can't remember Matt's last name, but he created this thing called OpenLock, and OpenLock is a tile system, and because of how printers work, you're printing for tens of hours at a time for some of these things. Like little stuff like this prints really fast. Mm-hmm. But I want to mention this. If you print out a tile, let's say you print out a tile, this is not a piece of tile, it's a foam core. I just put stuff on here.
George can show a tile.
Yeah, I got an image up.
Okay, so if you make
this actually has the open lock system in play here, and that's what Eric's about to describe to you.
That's only part of it. What people get confused by is that they're like, I don't want to print out a dozen tiles just to cover the table, and I'm like, you don't have to. Print out the one tile you want. And then this is the thing that I created. I created these things that I call end caps, and what it is it's a small cap that takes the tile's surface and blends it down to the table. It's like a little ramp. So you can actually produce a piece of scatter terrain based off of anything. So if this was a tile, or if any tile you had had a tree growing out of it, or rocks or any other things, you'd be like, I just want that tile, but I don't want to see the end. I don't want to see the open lot pieces. I'm like, print out 4 end caps.
Yep.
It extends it a little bit more, and then you can put that on, and that's your scatter terrain. And it's either 150 millimeters or 100 millimeters. By the way, 100 millimeters to 4 inches, 150 to 6 inches, give or take a little bit. It's not worth getting fussy about.
I really dig the end caps there, and in the image there, Eric, I was showing that off. I printed 4 of your scorch tiles, and I printed the end caps around all 4 of them.
You're a madman. You didn't send me photos?
Yeah, what am I doing, right? No, it's been crazy, man. I got really sick too.
All of YouTube just saw photos.
Yeah. Yep. I'll have to check out, check back. No, we need to. This is actually the first day I've been able to talk like a normal human being. I'm starting to
not to bring it up, but James told me what was going on, and I've been wanting to get in touch with you, but we'll talk later.
Yeah,
but,
cool. No worries.
Yeah, man. Do we have any questions from the community? Because here's the thing. I, as a creator, as a designer, I would love to talk about epic encounters if we have time, but I want to enrich gaming. I feel that gaming is missing out. It's what it's like. It's like when you give somebody who's colorblind those sea-colored glasses.
Yeah.
That's what I think 3D printing is. I think most people are like, my game's enough, I spend enough money, all I want to do is play the game, and great. I think that when you introduce them to real 3D printed terrain, which is by comparison of the injection molded stuff in most cases, is stupid cheap. I mean, the Thornhive Megamaw, I think one of my retailers was selling it for $500. That same thing by another brand, big brand, would probably cost $1,500. And that thing covers more space, and it's modular, so you can do whatever you want with it. Totally.
Yeah, the concept in itself of a 3D printer is amazing. And even if you don't see yourself as having the space or something you're not going to have around in your home, you should have your mind. It's almost like not knowing about the internet.
Yeah,
like you should have your mind aware and see how it can be involved in what you're doing. There's a solution for everything, and there's so many aids out there that'll either make your gaming that much more immersive and a beautiful thing, or just help you play the thing in a more efficient way. And then making your life easier on the game table means you have more fun.
Yeah, and Yeah,
games aside, I made custom Christmas ornaments for my family this year. Like, I didn't do that last year.
Right.
So I'm just saying, like,
let me show James,
you get brownie points for the family.
Oh, yeah. I mean, James has put out some pretty remarkable things. He made some race car tracks for the kid. Check out these sweet wash holders that James designed for Tabletop Alchemy. You can you can see there on the right, there's me printing a whole bunch of them. I think these are fantastic. I was showing a buddy this, and he's like, man, I've spilled wash all over my house. I got my pants are covered in wash. Like, I'll take like as many as I need, you know.
I'm using 10 of them right now.
Right. Just
like I use them. Like, I didn't just design them. I designed them for my own needs because I have to use these.
And then that's the kind of benefit that you can either partake yourself, or you should know you can Google things when you need them, that there's people out there that can help provide that for you, like Tabletop Alchemy. We're happy to hook you up with some hobby solutions there. Just getting off the ground and running, especially with the help of Worlds Over Run.
And we need more of that. We need more people playing with the content, showing it off, taking photos. I mean, I've been doing. I started Worlds Over Run a little over a year ago now, and we're doing so good. It hasn't reached critical mass yet, but with the help of Tabletop Alchemy and with some of my other people, like James Holden not James Holden, another James from Haldane Creations. You know, there's so many people that want to see this stuff succeed because it makes the entire community better. And it doesn't detract from anybody either, because I'm not going after, the big brand name manufacturers. I'm just trying to make the things that I miss, or the things that I want to see on the table as a creator, as a designer, as an artist, as a game player. It confuses me why, we can't all get along sometimes, you know what I mean?
Sure. But what we've got in the comments there for us is that one, the Thorn World is highly received. Zombie Dad from Australia was all about it. Gordito is just asking a question he doesn't think is asked very much, is how do you transport all the terrain? And I was just about to here's a quick big shot of the room here, but you can't really even see it, Gordito, but it's just bins, man. Like, I just use those big Tupperware bins that like people take for when they're camping, or, it has the seal. You can stack them. Stackable big bins, I think, are great. And then you just use foam or.
Yeah. And I want to mention something about that. When you look at, if George put up a photo of the Thornhive Megamoth, it weighs nothing. I mean, honestly. I've got one over there on a full-size piece of foam core, and it weighs nothing. In fact, this stanchion here, which it comes apart, it has alignment pins in it for gluing. You can see the alignment pins right there. This is so you can glue it together. There's pinholes on the stanchion part as well. This whole part weighs less than an empty can of soda.
Oh, wow.
So you figure you've got a dozen of these, and they weigh nothing. And they're fairly robust. I mean, if you really want to break it, you can break it. Like put some muscle in it. But there's a number of ways to do it. If I was transporting that, if that was fully painted and I was transporting that big piece, I might glue it down to the piece of foam core, or to a piece of there you go. James got one of the sections. I might glue it down to a piece of foam core, or a piece of what's that? There's a particle board material that's relatively light. It's the same thing as artist boards. I forget what it's called. I might glue it down to something like that. It makes it easy to transport, and you can just put it on the table if you put that down first. I'm not saying that you should do that, but it's a possibility.
Yeah. As someone that has, I actually have a hoard. It's getting kind of loud over there, James. I don't know what you're up to there.
Sorry.
No worries. You crazy son of a bitch. I tried to call you gun and bitch at the same time. I go to a lot of tournaments.
Gunch. He's a gunch.
Yeah, and I have a lot of terrain to be able to host events at non-game stores, and it's all about those bins, man. Because particularly, especially when you have multiple worlds, like Worlds Over Run terrain, or we have different Game Out of You and Death Ray Design terrain sets. Those need to stay organized and compartmentalized. So that's just to get these big Tupperware bins that everything's loaded into individually. And it's all about having a repeatable system. One, to always be able to, once you start collecting multiple terrain sets, it can get a little bit crazy, and you got to have a place to put it. It's either a shelving system, or which is only good for home use, but for travel, I'm a big supporter of the bins.
Yeah, and the bins are really nice. You know, you go and get yourself a piece of foam. You know, you can create layers, and it costs you almost nothing. I want to bring something up though. Now you printed out some of Scorch.
Yep.
Now, I don't want to just come out and say it, so I'm going to be like, you know, how did you feel? How quick was it? How quick was it for you to set up a table using the Scorch tiles?
Well, I don't have a table's worth. I could use them on a table. So it was mainly, you know, honestly right now, as I'm going through and just in an experimental level here and trying to just see, I want to see as much of the catalog as possible, and there's so much of it. Yeah. that it's let's see, I got a shot of kind of a progress. I love the satellites, and this is jumping from Scorch. I love Scorch, but to print a whole table's worth, as far as 6x4, even kill team size 22x30, it will take me more dedicated printing to get to it. What I've found is that it's totally worth doing that. I absolutely want at least a kill team size board. I think right out the gates too, my mind is going to a more utility purpose. I think Scorch and Grove tiles are going to be fantastic for display boards. I'm really excited about that for that portion alone. I think, you know, a lot of times that people that are really proud of the painting that they've done and go to tournaments to try to win a hobby score is that they get often beat out by those that have a better display board. And I don't think these are going to be the most fantastic display boards comparatively. You just can't, to be able to shape the amount of detail and quality, and not to mention robustness, that you can do with this by 3D printing these tiles versus trying to craft that in foam or something. It would just take an ungodly amount of time compared to the ease and quality you get with just printing it.
I worked in foam when I worked in the scenic industry. We sculpted for Busch Gardens, SeaWorld, Disney, a bunch of other places. Foam has its place, but not to toot my own horn, but the 3D printed Scorch tiles, you know, you flock that with some sand, it's a desert. You could technically be done if you went that route. You don't have to do anything, because I built the texture into the surface.
Totally.
And I have a friend who's an associate up here who's using it for tanks, and he flocked it, and then he threw down some tufts of grass around the rocks, and it was gorgeous. And he was done. He put a sandy texture on the stones, you know, a little mottled spray. Use a lot of airbrush with 3D printed stuff because it does have grow lines.
I really want to see a epic beach. I want to make like an island scenario, or particularly just line them up all horizontally and fill up like the back half of the board with tiles, and then the front half be like all crazy ocean style.
Right.
Maybe some ships, some planks, or even more islands of the tiles.
It's completely feasible, and it's, you know, for me it's like it's half done. You know, all I need to do now is like, okay, I need to do a water entry point, and it's like you're there.
Totally.
But yeah, you know, modding 3D prints. The 3D print is just the substrate. You know, once you have it, you know, you put some pigment on it, you put some flocking on it, you do some final touches with grasses or any of that other stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like, it looks like a movie miniature. In fact, that's kind of part of where the idea came from, because I have friends that work in film and talk to me all the time. We're talking like, hey, can we use this for movie miniatures? I'm like, sure, because you got the 3 foot rule, man. As long as you're not close to the 3 feet to the 3D print, you can't tell.
Right.
You know, you're too busy looking at the thing that's flying across the screen, or looking at the thing that's blowing up.
Sure.
So, the whole idea for this is to really, like I said, make the worlds enriching, make the worlds engaging, figure out how to, do that Star Wars look, from the prequels, the pod racing scene. Those were all miniatures, man. I mean, there are 4x6 tables of miniatures. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, okay, how much can I squeeze into 4x6 feet, to play a game?
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, I hope that our friends out there enjoy the conversation as much as we do, man, because we have been, it's funny that, we have built our channel around 40K and then battle reports and GW games, but then we just took a huge 180 when we discovered 3D printing. James led the charge there. And since Tabletop Alchemy's been formed, more printers have gotten, Worlds Over Run's gotten involved. We've just been obsessed with the 3D printing world, and we hardly even talk gaming. We're pretty much crackheads, yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, I can't wait to have you guys, meet up at a convention and just be playing games with this terrain.
Challenge? Wait, was that a challenge?
I'm going to Adepticon. Like if you're getting, man, we want to get a booth, and I wish those
we got a table. We got a table for Adepticon.
Collapse they hit you back?
Yeah, we got all. So I'm associated with Collapse Industries for your viewers. I'm going with Kirk. We're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. We're going to be taking some of the terrain. And I know that James McCain from Holding Creations is going to come hang out. I'm pretty sure Matt from Printable Scenery is going to be there. I can pretty much just it's going to be a madhouse, and people are going to be losing their minds. And anybody that sets up a table with this stuff, man, it's going to be a showstopper. I mean, those of you that are just looking at the photos, there's nothing like seeing a showstopper on a table. And there's a couple of pieces that I made that are too big to be allowed, and most people print them once and then they're like, I love it, but I hate your guts. I will never print this again.
I like printing big things.
So
that's what she said.
Yeah, this is going to be, I guarantee you, man, anybody that sees Worlds Over Run stuff on a table, you're not going to know what to do with yourself. You're just going to be like, where did that come from? How do I get it? Can I play with you guys? And it's going to be like, I don't know, man.
I'm getting a hold of Adepticon as soon as we're done talking here and being like, Eric told me that we weren't important over at Warp Charge Gaming. And
we were on the waiting list. Apparently, I didn't know this, but there's a review process and there's a whole bunch of other stuff because they are very. I don't know if they're changing their business model. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is
they need a new hotel, bro. That's what they need.
They definitely need a new convention center. They've outgrown it.
I think what they need to do is they need to do like Monsterpalooza does, and they need to have the original Monsterpalooza. Then there's the Son of Monsterpalooza, which is a spin-off, and they're run by the same guy.
Right.
They need to have an Adepticon in one time period of the year, and then an Adepticon and an Adepticon B or a Son of Adepticon, 4 months later or the other half of the year. That way more people can get in, more people can go to the shows, because we don't do both Monsterpaloozas. Collapse Industries and we don't do both Monsterpaloozas. We only do one. And I like to go to the big one, but we can't always get into the big one, so we go to the second one. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of one of those things, you don't.
I'm still gonna raise my voice and I'm gonna say, what gives?
Well, don't throw my boss or me under the bus, because I still want to work with Collapse Industries. There's things I need to do yet. So
no worries, Eric. I won't drop any names or anything.
Yeah, you lose us our table. Yeah. I'm telling Kirk where you live.
It sounds like we're gaining a table.
Yeah, we're coming to the game for sure. Cool. Gordito said he's definitely going to be checking out your booth at Adepticon. That's tight.
You're going to have to check out the Collapse Industries booth. I'm partnered with him. I've been working with Collapse for about 5 years.
Nice.
Making statues, and stuff like, actually, this is a piece I did for Collapse Industries. This is a joint piece that we did together.
Oh wow, I think it's gorgeous.
And that's a resin cast. And I have 5 reliefs, but this is the one that's closest. This one's the one at arm's reach.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and these are printed. I wish these were printed on our milkshake, but I can't remember which printer we use. Collapse Industries has I think we have like a dozen machines. So
wow, it's impressive.
But yeah, I mean, we do all the fun stuff. But the unlike that type of printing, the type of printing, if anybody's interested, this is FDM. That's the type of printing. Go look at it. Go learn about it. It's a great hobby to be in to enhance your gaming, but you're still, unless you've got stupid money, you're still going to be ordering large quantities of stuff from other people, but you can get the kinds of things that you want quickly. Like if you I need 200 open lock clips, you fill up your bed, print it out overnight, peel them off in the morning, and you got all your clips, or like James, you're making, Christmas dongles for all your family, and they're all just sort of like, thanks, James. Did you make this?
My Christmas ornaments.
He said dongles.
Dongles.
They're dongles.
Christmas ornaments. I don't care what you're calling it. You want to make fun of me?
Dong, da, dong, dong, dong.
No, I know. That's where I was going. You need another dongle.
Dude, going 40K. It up at Adepticon, and you're going down.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm glad to see that our homies will be showing up. I can't wait to meet Gordito, and I'd love to catch a chicken bone out there in the world too. Some cool cats.
I'm gonna say this, man. The more that this show and our relationship grows, the more the community grows, the more the support we get from everybody, the more types of gaming that people are getting involved in, and they see that 3D printing can be a part of every game that they make, the better the community will be. The more inviting the community is, the more fun the community is. It's going to be so much more than it ever was when it started 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I mean, even everybody's got miniatures now, so it's kind of like terrain's the next evolution, and instead of just like a burned out building from one of the other big manufacturers, and it's like, I paid $50 for this burned out building and it's only the size of a milk carton. Now you spend that $50 and you can now print out 16 milk cartons, and you're like, now I've got a city and it didn't cost me an arm and a leg.
Yeah, it's if anything, I hope that we've definitely motivated a few more 3D printing purchases out there and some traffic over to Worlds Over Run.
This is actual GW.
Yeah. And
this is 2 other kits combined to make one decent piece of terrain. And it's a $60 kit and a $35 kit to make this.
Don't let them lie to you. It's not so decent. It's a water treatment plant. It stinks.
Either or.
You're definitely
for game use.
Yeah.
And that's like $90.
Yeah, you're practically printing.
That's $90. You know what I can do? We all know what we can do with $90. If you look at what James and George are doing and see what $90 gets you, you're going to be really surprised how far your dollar is going to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that's gonna throw a monkey wrench into the entire market, and the game developers are going to be competing for that.
This right here would be less than $90.
That is an oversized. That was inspired by the Nidus tunnels.
Oh wow, yeah, the portal.
The portal. So this is the Thorn portal now. It's like a living Nidus tunnel. You send characters into it on one side, and they're supposed to be able to pop out on the other on a mirrored one on the other side. That thing is humongous. I didn't realize how big you made that. You're a crazy man.
I told you I'm printing big things. It's almost big enough for my head, not quite.
Yeah, I got some clean images here to show the friends there. There's that demon prince inside the.
Tell everybody how much that weighs. You think that weighs how much? Like
this weighs more.
That weighs more. So for those of you that don't know, 3D printing, we don't break it.
It breaks like a
3D printed parts are they're hollow on the inside. There's a scaffolding on the inside, and we call that infill. Most of what I print is like 5% infill, meaning that it's got a heavy exterior shape and then it's got a lighter core, which is why pieces like this weigh nothing. So yeah, transporting it is not about weight; it's about volume. So yeah.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah. Well, man, it's been awesome, Eric. I really appreciate you stopping by for the show here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We got a few more bits of news to cover for the before we jump off for this week, and so I'll probably get to that.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
James.
I know you want to get going. James, which one is that? That's the unchecked growth?
Nope, it's the random growth.
That's random growth. And did you double the size of that?
No, it's only 150.
Oh, okay. So it's 150%. That looks amazing. For those of you that don't know, that piece right there is part of the Thorn set, and it's just like I said before. It's like what do you call it? Zerg and Tyranids and aliens. It's
Yeah, I've been showing a nice shot of. James sent me some pics of that too. That thing is sweet. I love the spiked sacks around it, the balls there.
Oh, yeah, and the platforms, the raised platforms.
Yep.
Jeez, James, you're a madman.
Oh, the 150% is pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the side-by-side satellites, the small and the big. We're doing pretty good at covering ground on the catalog there, Eric. Right now, I have a full tree from Grove printing, and nice. I have the Strata walls printing right now.
Oh wow! Okay, nice.
So
the rounders, yeah.
Yep.
This thing is a plateau. This is the medium-sized plateau grown to 150%. And the way he did the random growth is it interlocks into it, which is just so beautiful because like it could be like this one piece together or two separate pieces. Yeah, and two of these together are about $90. So like that's how much extra you're getting.
Yeah, and the platform, the raised platform, that becomes its own display. You can turn that. You put that on a shelf, and you put your characters. Yeah. You put your crew on there. Your
perfect
squad.
For a chaos character. Make it look like a funnel or something out of the warp. I mean, just by the way you paint it up, it can change. You can print it 5 different ways and paint it 5 different ways. And
all right, I'm done with show and tell. Let's get rid of Eric. Let's kick him out.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry, James. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, it's been great
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. You guys are awesome, and I hope everybody gets to come out to Adepticon and see us. So,
absolutely,
we'll be having some drinks, man.
Awesome,
most definitely,
awesome. I'll catch you guys later. Need anything? Give me a shout.
All right, thanks,
definitely.
Bro.
Later, man.
Take care, man.
Later.
All right, now we can talk about 40K and chapter approved.
Oh man, that was cool to have Eric to stop by and say what's up. Great guy, awesome stuff he's doing. We're glad to be having access to those files that he is crafted and be able to produce this stuff for our audience and friends. Yeah, so pretty cool. So yeah, we got chapter approved out. We got kill team rules for Black Fortress.
So yeah, I got to talk about this because I think GW is going crazy.
Yeah,
they are releasing chapter approved and their first supplement of 8th edition with like their formations at the same time.
Yeah, like is that via a campaign book? Is that what I saw? I haven't
got
to digest
that is. It's just kind of how they did it in 7th edition with all the little campaign books that had these extra formations in it.
Oh, I totally have some. They had the Curse of the Wolfen one. They had the Cow one, the Monka.
Yeah, exactly. So they're basically doing that, and I guess everyone's getting a little bit of something as far as formations. I know they leaked out that there's an Orc one. There's obviously your Space Marines. You have some like Chaos stuff in there. Like everyone's getting a little bit of love.
They're doing an Age of Sigmar style where you have to pay for the formations, eh?
Yeah, definitely you have to pay for the formations.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying with the CP, and then once you pay for the formations, it unlocks a category, or not a category, but a keyword for certain units that are affected by this formation.
Now hold up. Did you say you pay for it with command points?
Yes, you pay for the formations with CP.
Oh, now that's interesting. That is different. They literally cost points in Age of Sigmar, but that's cool. That's wild.
Yeah.
I like that remix there.
Yeah, they play with you. Pay CP to get your formations.
Okay.
Some formations are literally just 1 CP. Some I heard are up to 5 CP.
Okay.
And then you get a keyword for certain units in that formation, and that keyword then gives you rules, and also it unlocks stratagems that use that keyword.
Yeah.
One of the ones that I found was the most savage is intercessors. You can upgrade them to veterans via the formation. I'm not exactly how much that formation is, but when they become veteran intercessors, because of that keywording, they get a new stratagem. It's only 1 command point, and it allows them to target characters. And on top of that, any 6s deal mortal wounds in addition to normal damage.
Damn, son.
So imagine a pretty beefy veteran intercessor squad rolling up on you.
On the Eldar characters hiding all behind their grotesque.
Eldar characters, I mean, you have...
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but especially Dark Eldar. I mean, they have that one character with like a 2-up invul, and then like when it fails it loses it.
Yeah.
But it says a 2-up invul no matter what in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, eat this mortal wound.
Especially, I'm getting so tired of the characters that ignore Overwatch. That really messes up my day often enough, and I want to be able to just wreck those guys.
Yeah, I would be like scared of intercessors just popping around my backfield where I have my change caster, my little herald that does nothing but give me a free reroll, and he's just gonna take away my reroll. I need my rerolls.
Speaking of intercessors, real quick, James, I just got to bring up my plight with trying to find the auxiliary grenade launcher. I just threw up on screen there an example model. I believe that's a Primaris Marine with an auxiliary grenade launcher. Those are such... I am annoyed with Adeptus Astartes and Kill Team. I'm just going to say it. It is such a pain in the butt to make the kill team that you want with Adeptus Astartes and then get the models appropriate with the right weapons. Like, one, the Space Marine, the Adeptus Astartes box is Space Wolves or Death Watch, and you're just Reavers. You're just getting a bunch of Reavers. They got a combat knife and a rifle. You don't get any Auspex. You don't get the damn grenade launchers.
You get the grappling hook.
You get the grappling hook. But, like... I want, like, in my list, every time I make the list, it's like you need a tactical sergeant, you need a scout sergeant, which is 2 different boxes, and then you need intercessors, and you need reavers, which again is 2 different situations. And then, like, it was like ridiculously hard. I only through like a Reddit forum could find out how many auxiliary grenade launchers come inside of the intercessor box, and I'm not even positive that it looks just like the picture. Like, if you type in the auxiliary grenade launcher, nearly 95% of the images are custom made ones because it's such a bitch to get the appropriate amount. James is about to go on a journey to make some Black Templars, a Black Templar kill team, thanks to our friends on the channel here that have helped support us in some past episodes. And we need and he's also trying to help make my Space Marine kill team, my Space Wolf one.
So it's basically the same kill team, just
it's
2 different,
exactly
legions.
Yes. And we need 4 auxiliary grenade launchers. And does that mean we need to buy 2 intercessor? We even have, like, you even had the intercessors from the Dark Vengeance box set, and it had like 2 5-man teams in it. But does it come with the grenade launchers? No. It drives me crazy, James.
Yeah, they all just got regular bolt guns, and so we got bolt guns and reavers. Yeah, and that does not help our kill team.
No.
So we got 1 guy.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah, it's aggravating. So going to work on that, but it's annoying.
That's where we're sitting on that, guys.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt the chapter of Proof Talk, but we also have a Kill Team tournament coming up. Since talk, I love Kill Team. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't heard about this Blackstone Fortress getting Kill Team rules.
Yeah, I've been crazy. Printing shit and fucking printing shit. But yeah, that's going down. I mean, I also just sent you all the Blackstone Fortress models, which is pretty neat. Cool. Each one of the heroes in there, they all go to their appropriate factions. So it's not like it's its own, like, there is a unique new kill team from the box, which is all the chaos models, But otherwise, the Kroot model goes with the Tau, and the Ranger goes with the Eldar. The robot goes with Adeptus Mechanicus. So everybody kind of goes with their homies, and of course they all have 40k rules as well. I love cross game integration. Did we just get somebody saying what's up? Green stuff, bros, go nuts. Thanks, Chicken Bones, man.
Oh, Chicken Bone.
Green stuff and go nuts. That's what we should do. We need our Ox grenade launchers, and it's a bitch. I don't want to buy 2 boxes of intercessors. We're literally
So we need
10.
2 each.
Yeah.
So I have to make 4.
Yeah. But the thing is that like the intercessors we have, they should come with a bunch of grenades, and that's how you make the belt thing, the ammo strap.
I got some blue stuff and I got some green stuff, so I think I'm gonna make 1 and then make copies of that 1.
Okay. Well, now we got $5 from Chicken Bones. I mean, we can go crazy.
Well, technically, we got like, I don't know, what does that come out to be? Because YouTube takes 30%.
We're going nuts. We're going nuts, James. And Chicken Bone's not the first time you've helped us out, man. Really appreciate you, man.
Chicken Bone's the man.
He really is. Chicken Bone, I think you might have chose these beautiful black and gold dice. They're on their way, buddy. You may have chose a different color, but man, that's a pretty picture. I just wanted to show it again. Still plenty of dice, friends. And speaking of that, because the dice are available on warpchargegaming.com, you just go to the shop. Something else that's a feature we're working on right now, James is in the mix on, is we just came up with a community page, and soon we hope to get an ebb and flow going on with our friends out there.
And this is by request, and I think Gardito Spree is the one who requested this.
Yeah, I think it was. We got the work in progress, and we actually have a forum too that none of us actually utilize. But yeah, on our website there'll be a place that you can post your works in progress or things that you're proud of, and we plan to integrate them into the show here and have moments where we go through those images. So try to help us troubleshoot as we work on the website. We sometimes the pictures aren't posting, or you might have login issues. We definitely would love to hear from you if that's the case, and we'll be working out the kinks as we go along.
Yeah, because I do all the developing myself, and I use 2 computers, one as a guest login, one as the admin. And I've been finding bugs, and they're kind of a pain because you never know where they're coming from. But eventually I iron them out. Sometimes I spend hours talking to customer service for our server provider. But either way, we iron them out eventually. So it is currently working, but some files that they're taken off of phones may be too large, and it will have like an error. And sometimes it does post anyways, even though it gives you the error. And sometimes it doesn't post at all. So it's kind of like this weird point on memory and how big files are, and I'm trying to get that all worked out.
Yeah. Well, you can go there now and get yourself some dice, even the opportunity to get a shirt made if you'd like, just for food for thought there.
Get this one. I really like this one.
Yeah, I haven't got that one. That is cool. Jelly. Yeah, we're making merchandise. Speaking of that, James also designed a very sick header for our product packaging that we're about to have for our tabletop alchemy gear. You can see this sweet label that's going to go on those cardboard headers that you staple over your packaged shrink wrap products. So looking forward to putting those at the hook at our favorite store, Battlegrounds, and having those available on the website. We're printing all kinds of shit. Here's a table full of stuff. Got some.
Dude, we already talked about 3D printing. I want to talk about more chapter approved and like the new stuff going on, because I just played Orcs recently.
Oh. We already talked about 3D printing. Yeah, we really have. Yeah, so you played some Orcs, huh?
Yeah, I played some Orcs, and they were evil sons. They were fast.
Yeah.
They are very, very fast.
How'd they do? Were they?
They lost. They definitely lost.
Close game, or?
I did some proxying. It was not a tournament game. It was actually an at-home game, and I proxied some demons. I've been having that theory with the fiends coming in, and I was not sold on the fiends. I was also not sold on the demonettes, but I do still like my demons. I think demons are going to be stronger after chapter approved, because as I thought was going to happen, I made this beautiful, awesome list. I knew it was going to be awesome. I needed to buy the models to finish it out. And I wanted to wait till chapter approved because I thought they were going to get nerfed, and they did. Cultists are going up to 5 points instead of 4 points a model. That list had 140 cultists in it. So it's 140 points of a nerf.
Right.
Or yeah, so that kind of hurts. Also, I had some Zangors in there. I believe I had just a 30 man, but they also went up 1 point a model. So that was a 170 point nerf just from that alone. And then everything when Neg 1 to hit is going to be in cover outside of their 12-inch range. So again, more nerfing that I knew was coming. So me knowing all these nerfs are coming, I was going to that.
A little frozen action. 4
units of Nurglings, 1 a 4-man, 2 or 3 a 3-man. No, 3 units of Nurglings, 2 3-mans, 1 4-man. I had a unit of 20 Demonettes and 3 units of 20 Bloodletters. It was a very interesting list. Only 1 Demon Prince in the list. Had some couple Heralds. Had the Mask. I really like her, especially with Orcs, because of the fact that she has an ability when you're within 6 inches of a Demonette unit. The enemy units subtract 1 to their attack, to a minimum of 1. And what's dope is it like conga lines. You can chain it.
Yeah.
So
Chicken Bones had 140 cultists in the limit 3 units. I don't. The rule of 3 is only to like dedicated transports and troops are good.
Rule of 3 is not to troops or transports.
Yeah.
So you can spam as many troops or transports as you want in the rule of 3. But yeah, the Demonettes, they do the conga line any 6 inches from a Demonette unit that's within, I think, 3 inches of her or whatever. So the mask itself has a Demonette keyword. So it first starts from her, but then can chain off to other units. So I was able to take my Demonette unit, and it affected 3 units of boys, knocking down 1 of their attacks on each boy. So when you think about like how awesome that is, like 3 units of 30 boys is a lot of attacks. I mean, at the minimum, I saved myself 80 attacks on myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where Demonettes were awesome, and that's where I saw the theory in them. But oh man, if you don't have a Herald given Demonettes +1 strength, that strength 3 is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, against boys, even with all the attacks they had, it was just like killing 3 of them. And I was like, this is just sad.
Yeah.
So defensively, Demonettes are good against boys, but offensively they suck. But that's where Bloodletter's cleaned up.
That's what's up. Yeah, I've been intrigued to pull out the demons again, just for the sake they've been sitting on the shelf for a while. I'm looking forward to playing some Chaos.
Dude, I really love demons, man. I really do. It's just it's hard to fit all your toys in there because they are so expensive, and because the troops are all designed so that you want to take more than 20 in a unit. And then because you want to take more than 20 in a unit, you have to think about how are they going to survive watch, or you have to take 30 knowing that you're going to lose casualties, and it just makes these units so expensive.
Yeah. How's the do you recall the kind of backdrop to the campaign? Like it was, I think Chaos I saw was a major portion of the campaign that's coming out, right?
Yeah, they stated that they are going to do, I mean, when 8th dropped, that it was going to be more of a focus on Imperium and Chaos.
Right, right.
So each of these campaign books are carrying on that story.
Yep.
So, like, if you're a narrative player, you're into the lore, you're always going to buy these books because you got to get your fluff in. So they're carrying that on, but I believe they're giving a little bit of extra for every faction so that we don't have this, like, crazy power creep like we had in 7th.
Yeah.
And that's what people are really worried about is when you put faction like formations in each one of these books, and not every faction gets addressed in these books.
Right.
You end up saying, "Well, I don't need this book," and then and you start finding yourself missing out on books.
Yeah.
And not buying every single one, and then you start losing out. Well, who has what formation? Who has what? And then you're in this rules finagle complex that GW makes.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to make it a little bit more simpler as far as what I know from the leaked information. Is these books are going to contain a little bit of love for everybody, but still continue the main story.
That's cool. Yeah, I look forward to it. That's going to be pretty sweet.
What I think is really sweet is the fact that these formation stuff use all these command points, because it's going to be very hard to use some of these really sweet new rules and have the farm available. So people are going to end up getting a lot of taxes, and then things that kind of fall through the cracks as far as power gaming is going to get addressed right away, just like Chapter Approve is. Mm-hmm. So I see the future of GW being great, but man, it's definitely a bumpy road along the way.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Like, I want my army to look amazing, and when stuff's this like volatile as far as like what's going to be good, what's going to be competitive, you kind of find yourself stuck. Because I mean, we all don't have the money to go crazy and buy everything that GW releases.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, the ebb and flow is a grind for sure. That's where you slowly try to collect. You know, like even there's you know, I know for my chaos, I've collected a lot of stuff that I don't like. For my corn stuff has been sitting there forever. I would love to put a soul grinder on the table.
Oh, dude, telling me that was one of my favorite units.
Yeah,
it looks so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I had one that I always rocked every game, and then 8th dropped, and I was like, I'm getting more. I want more, because now there's no like armor value and stuff.
Right.
I was like, give me more, and then it just sucked. So I have 2 soul grinders behind me. I think I have another one unbuilt because I wanted to run 3 of them. Because Corn Demonkin had one where you could run 8 in a formation. Right. And I want more.
Yeah, totally. I wonder. I also would like, because like I don't think that Chapter Approved is going to address much Forge World. Yeah. Like when
last year it did.
It
so
did.
I think that's where we're getting our Forge World points drops.
I sure would like some new, if they're good, that's fine. Like, I don't really care. I mean, the points are really what's more required than probably even the rule sets to any one particular. But like, I'd love to take the Dreadclaw. I saw that there's a leak that the drop pod's going to 65 points. I don't think that was enough at all.
No, I agree. It's not enough.
Yeah.
Not when like, if the drop pod made it so that it bypassed a rule of some sort, or took advantage of certain things, like the 9-inch thing. Like if a drop pod came out and then it had to be 9 inches away, but then you could come out of it 3 inches, so you had a 6-inch charge, that would be awesome.
Totally.
But the fact that you have to get out and still be 9 inches away is just so shitty.
Yeah.
And then because now reserves coming in turn 2, everybody, if you had them in a drop pod, they could come in turn 1. Like, when I was playing orcs, I had like 4 or 5 units charging me turn 1. Like, it was no question. It wasn't even hard.
Oh yeah.
And if I wasn't prepared for it the way I was, dude, I would have been handled. Like, absolutely handled. If they're concerned about new players getting the feel badsies from people like killing them turn 1, then why did they come out with the orcs the way they did? Like, man. Yeah. It's insane what they can do turn 1.
Oh man, I've at the tournament that we had that Warp Charge through here at Battlegrounds, I was playing Evil Sun's orcs, and just dropping that doing the jump on the 30 blob is I mean, with Evil Suns getting the 8-inch charge instead of a 9 plus here we go re-rolling either dice or both. It's like it's over 75% chance you're going to make that charge, and you're a 30-man line. You can be, if you go first, you can literally spread those 30 guys out across the whole freaking board, you know?
Oh, man, I totally know.
I mean, plus you can make it a 40 blob if you want to bring them together with the mob up.
Well, that's what happened in the game I played is I won the roll-off to go first, but because of the army I built it in anticipation of what's to come in the meta. So I chose to go second. So I gave the orcs turn 1. He mobbed up 1 unit right away. So it was a 40-man unit on the board. He had a 30-man unit on the board. He had a 30-man boy unit in reserve. Mm-hmm. Then he had 2 dragstas, and then he had the war boss and the trike. Mm-hmm. So turn 1, the 40-man was able to advance and charge. They failed their charge, though, so I was lucky. He jumped the 30-man. They made their charge. He had the 2 dragsters. 1 made its charge, 1 didn't, and then the war boss made his charge. It's just kind of crazy when you think about all that stuff coming at you.
Yeah. Plus on those vehicles, you can do ramming speed and get a 3d6 charge.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't even need to do that. I mean, he could have got the other one in, but he kind of put it there to protect himself from my reserve, so he had board placement. And he was just doing the advance, the charge, just because he could, because I had no Overwatch. But yeah, I mean, if I didn't play it smart and like pull my casualties properly, so that I had these lines and congas, so I left so one unit of boys couldn't even attack.
Right.
Like I played the proper game. But if I didn't know what to do, he would have just crippled me. I would have gave up. If I was brand new in the hobby and someone was able to get all that off on me in turn one, I would probably give up.
Yeah, no, I can understand what you mean by that.
And it's just kind of crazy, man, when they just nerf Alpha Legion like they did. I mean, I can't bring my Berserkers in the way I used to. My Cultists are now more expensive. I can't tie the traders multiple times. Like, Alpha Legion has been nerfed so hard. And when was the last time Alpha Legion or Chaos Space Marines won a tournament?
Right.
It doesn't quite make sense when some armies are just so strong and have obvious like things that they took away from my army that I play. Like I've noticed it the most.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow.
Yo, talking, you got me thinking I have to show these sweet pictures of the guy that won the Rule of Cool award at our tournament. It's these sick orcs, man. Let me show you. Here is the battle wagon that he converted, and he's got his def roll on front. It is so dope in person. And then here he has all the new mobsters and trikes done up, and he has them in these sick poses where they look like they're like ripping, like they're on like only one wheel or just 2 out of the 4 wheels, like they're going up some terrain or about to rage into somebody's face.
I've seen some amazing of those things. I don't know what they're called. The planes without wings. That's what I'm calling them.
Yeah.
But I've seen some awesome ones done up where they look like they're taking off, like they're flying.
Yeah.
And they have like smoke behind them, and they put the T light inside the smoke.
Right.
So it looks like it's just blasting off. Like It is so beautiful what people are doing with these new orc models.
Yeah, they're really, really sick. But yeah, he had 3 of these battle wagons for his army, and he had all those badass bikes. I mean, just everything he had looked like it was alive, and had a custom touch to it. I enjoyed giving him the Rule of Cool award. I like that almost more than Painted because it incentivizes even more creativity.
Yeah, I agree.
Conversions
are always sweet, especially when they're well done.
Yeah. So that one was well deserved by my buddy Seth. Seth's a real cool guy in this local area. He's been coming out to lots of the Kill Team campaign events that I run on Sunday at Battlegrounds and hitting the tournament. So it was cool. I actually met him when I went to that Apocalypse match at Battlegrounds, and I brought all the Thousand Suns and Zinch Demons. What's that?
They said you were cutting out on me. I don't know if that was me or you.
You were cutting out a few times, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we're good. But yeah, met him at a big APOC game, and he brought a bunch of knights and a warlord or like a warhound. And when he blew up over all of my characters, killed me. It was pretty funny because I brought all this character spam, and he was my partner, so I was like using all these knights and warhounds as my big you can't shoot me. So I'm sitting here with all these like demon princes and fucking there was no rule of 3 because it was APOC, and I was like just haha, you can't target me, and then he just blows up all over me and kills like massive amounts of demon princes.
That's hilarious.
I had like 5,000 points worth of demons, and they were mostly characters. Getting wrecked by warhound explosions.
That's so funny. Chicken Bones got me thinking right now because he commented saying, "Oh man, I'm getting more poxwalkers." To the fact that I could have so many cultists, and because cultists went up the 5 points a model, I might be looking at poxwalkers again because they didn't go up in points with chapter approved. So having that disgusting resilience is so awesome, especially with Necrosis. Being there, giving you a reroll 1 on Disgusting Resilience, Typhus, giving them the +1 toughness, and then being able to add that spell, and then making them neg 1 to hit, and then cloud of flies when they
Well,
start to
they're naturally fearless too, which is disgusting.
yeah, I mean, that's why I'm thinking about it, is because I use the bodies for the fearless aspect. Like, that's why I
Yep.
use the cultists.
That's the first player I went up against at the tournament was they had like 120 poxwalkers. I feel like it was like they had yeah, I think it was close to, it was either 110, something like that. It was really tough to deal with.
Okay, I'm trying to think, can you make poxwalkers -2? Please explain that.
-2 to hit. Well, we know that we can miasma pestilence.
That's the only way I know how.
The only plague bearers get to be -1 when they're above 20, but that's
Yep.
plague bearers.
And you can also miasma them, so you can make them -2.
Yeah, but I don't know about
Poxwalkers, I don't
poxwalkers.
know how about.
Yeah. Now, so we're saying that with chapter approved leaks, that if you anything that has a -1, what's the deal with the -1 becoming a cover save?
Okay, so there's Raven Guard and then there's Alpha Legion. Both of them have -1 to hit outside 12 inches. And I believe there's Altok is also -1 outside of 12 inches for
Right.
Eldar.
Yeah.
So
this becomes a cover save?
yeah, it'll turn to being in cover outside of 12 inches.
That's pretty shitty for them.
It's not super shitty. I mean, when you really think about like Hellbrutes, for instance, they're quite difficult to get into cover. And you don't necessarily want to put them in cover like in ruins and get yourself trapped.
Yeah.
So having something big like a Hellbrute being in cover out in the open is kind of nice, especially if it's a shooty Hellbrute and then you utilize Fire Frenzy to shoot him twice.
Yeah, but it's like the thing like that I'm thinking about is like, say like a las cannon or something that's -3 or -4. Like it's like whenever they make you minus to hit, you're only getting usually like with a las cannon like 1 shot or 2 shots. Like you get very little amount of shots.
I agree with the aspect of survivability. The -1 is way better.
Way better.
That's why they're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
That and also the fact that you could stack upon that. Because I used to always make my Leviathan Dreadnought -2.
Yeah.
Because he was Alpha Legion and he has the Hellbrute keyword, so that makes him -1 outside of 12 anyways. And then I made a Mark of Nurgle, so I casted Miasma on him, making him a -2 all the fucking time.
Now, when you do things like miasma, is the way that we've seen the leaks read, is it that's still having a -1 effect?
That's still -1.
It's only innate abilities or whatever.
Yeah, it's only those chapter type tactics.
Okay.
Same with planes; they still get supersonic -1. And that's where Altok used to get real crazy, is because they could cast a -1 spell. They already were -1, and there were planes. So you would have these planes rolling around -3, not being interacted with.
Yeah, as bastards.
I think that's what they're getting rid of, is the fact that now those things that you stacked all these -1s to, you still put -1 onto them, but now they're going to be in cover.
So supersonic is still in play, but the Latok rule would be turned into a cover armor save. Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine having a plane that's never going to see cover, but now you can put it in cover if it like, at least for Elatok or whatever it's called. Obviously with Chaos and Imperium, it only affects troop spikes and Dreadnoughts. But like I said, Hellbrutes will have a bigger play in Alpha Legion, or at least that makes Hellbrute keyword.
That makes the new FAQ stratagem prepared positions less
Absolutely. And I was thinking the same thing. It's like you give everyone this new stratagem, but you make it less important for the people that you feel are too powerful. Now you're taking away what makes them powerful.
It's kind of
weird. The thing that's bonus to everybody now they don't get.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy what they're doing to my Chaos Space Marines. It hurts. Like I just feel and see all these buffs that
sorry about that. James cut out on us. You're seeing all these buffs that everybody's getting, and then they're taking it away, and it's whack.
I'm thinking outside the box. I'm still finding a way. I only play one faction. I mean, kind of two, but it's Chaos. I just play Chaos.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some more 40k and some different armies. If anybody caught it, you can watch on Twitch a posted live video of me and Connor playing some 40k from yesterday, but I deleted it from YouTube because our YouTube channel is sacred, and I totally effed up hard. I played Tau, and I was playing the Borkan Sept, but I brought Shadow Sun, which is Tau Sept, and was intending to do the Cal Yun, where I can have everybody re-roll for a round, and you can't have a Tau Sept commander Cal Yun for a Borkan Sept unit. And so I totally took advantage of my extra range from the Borkan and Shadow Sun Cal Yunning twice. And I shamefully won the game, and I had to delete my shame, hide the evidence. So you can watch that, though, because it was interesting. If you like, on Twitch, that'll be there for like 60 days or whatever. We just posted a Kill Team bat rep that was the first of the Tumby Chronicles. Tumby visited us a few weeks ago from New Zealand. I began the editing process. Tumby did say, James, that he's going to send me a few shots, headshots, so that we can make a funny or entertaining thumbnail.
Sweet.
So that's cool. Yeah, we're trying. We need some damn auxiliary grenade launchers. Age of Sigmar Champions dropped the new Onslaught, and there's 128 new cards. I've went through several of them. The cards that I was telling you, James, the two particular ones that are pretty cool they're universal, and I haven't read the rule book to Onslaught, but I found a restriction I wasn't aware of. That's obviously a part of the new rules. For like there's these universal blessings now, and that didn't exist before. So you can get universal blessings, but it would only let me use one of them. You can't have more than one universal blessing, is what I was finding from the app.
Oh.
So that was kind of interesting. There's two really good ones. One gives you 7 health automatically, and the other one makes it so that when their cards would rotate, every time one of their cards would rotate, your card rotates instead, and they just stay still, and they don't cause damage or anything. Like, so they deploy, like, let's say they deploy 2 units, and those units, like, when they drop, do 3 damage. They won't turn and do the next set of damage, and they won't, even by not turning, they won't do the damage. They just they're like dormant, basically. So it's pretty nice, but it only lets that happen to like 4 cards. So if that blessing goes off, it's called like entangle, and they have like 4 things that would rotate, then your blessing's gone. It would instead of all 4 of those things rotating, your card just goes all the way around, and then that blessing's done. So it's like a 1 or 2 turn stall, but that's enough to win the game with our burn deck style chaos for Age of Sigmar Champions.
Yeah.
I pretty much found that just switching the few blessings around was the only thing I really wanted to do. I'm entertaining taking those heralds that give you taking out a guy that gives the ability buff, and the guy that gives the chaos commander dude that's only one point. I switched them both out for the other 2 to start. You can start the game out with 4 health additional, an extra. The math works out to an extra 2 health. You can have a better starting health by switching out these other couple guys and just keeping Valkia and the Bloodthirster. But it's still probably better to use the other guys that we've been using.
Yeah, I'm actually one of the new cards that I've played with, and it's the only one I've really liked, is a new ability card that removes your card and does 4 damage.
Yeah.
Like, I've been finding that being awesome, because of the combo that I do that does typically like 7 damage, and then you remove him, does another 5.
Yeah.
Like, that's the bare minimum. He does 7 damage. Then you remove the card, it does 5.
It's like a twofer, because you're getting a sacrifice and an ability off.
Yeah, and then I've been doing this combo where I put the Berserker next to it that gives the additional damage. So when it rotates around, it does 9 damage, and then when I remove it, it does 7. So then you throw in the extra 4 on top of that, I've just wiped somebody.
Totally. Yeah, that stuff's cool.
That's what I've been finding, is if they let me get that off. And then I also play the one dude that stops them from deploying guys.
Yeah,
on that
gets
far
so
end.
Annoying. Yeah, I found that the good guys, the Sigmarites, they got the Stormcast. They got more cards that stop you from
They have
deploying.
way more that do that. I've been nullified before.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
Oh yeah. But the way I like, if the cards lay right, I do my what is it, ferocious attack or opportunity, whatever. and I like to play that right away. So that's 10 damage. Boom. Play it on the Bloodthirster, and I play it on the one dude that does +2 the ability of the fourth corner.
Yeah.
So that's eliminated. I have nothing on my board by going the next turn, and then I play the Berserker dude, and then I play the one dude that hurts yourself and then spins around for 3 damage.
Yep.
So I'll play that, and then it's going to spin one time equally. Then I'll play the guy that stops people on the far end, so that he's getting the buffs from the Berserker, doing the extra to the damage.
Right.
And then once it comes around,
you spin him, and then you drop the.
And I spin him, and then I drop the new ability card.
Yeah.
And I've literally wiped people from those moves alone. Like that's the key.
And that can be like a 4-turn situation, or even 3.
It's a 3-turn situation.
Yep. Yep.
And it's just the cards have to happen right, but there's nothing they can do to stop it besides removing cards.
Or dormancy. They can do it with dormancy, removing cards, and also shields and gaining health.
Yeah, but I mean, if they don't have those 3 abilities and they're trying to get off their own combo, they're done.
Oh, it can happen fast. Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I have to stay sharp with champions. One, because I'm gonna be playing at Adepticon. I'm gonna be playing in a grand tournament.
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
I'm looking forward to that.
Like, I don't know if I could play this game with actual physical cards.
It's really hard, actually, because one, the cards they don't face conveniently towards you. Like the way they do it in the app, the opponent's cards are like front facing to you.
Yeah,
and it's not that way in real life. And then
also, you can't touch it, zoom in to like see what the card is.
Like you gotta like when you do it in real life, you're like reaching over the table and pulling their cards over you. It's like really weird. They're like, I'm trying to read it, back off. And then there's like do
you actually rotate the card too?
Yeah, and you gotta like remember to rotate everything, which is like a pain in the ass. You're like, okay, you gotta like go through all the motions, and then like things don't highlight, and then you gotta do the math of like how things add up.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know. All
you
that
can't just be like, hey, you got your app, I got my app, let's play.
I mean, you could, but that's I mean, well, no, actually, because it's all about having the cards, right?
But like, what if you have the cards?
I don't know.
Like if you had your deck digitally, even had it physically.
I'm sure. I don't know, actually.
And you'd be like, dude, let's just play on the app. Like, fuck this shit.
I definitely feel like I suck more though in person. Like it's a whole nother thing. So I definitely am worried about it.
I can like, I talk a lot of shit about nerd stuff, and like I can play this game. I get it. It's sometimes fun, sometimes it's frustrating. Like it's a card game. Not the biggest fan of them, but it's tolerable digitally because they made a very nice app.
Yes, they did. They won some awards too. Yeah.
You take that app away, I wouldn't touch the damn game.
Yeah, I mean the cards look cool, man. It feels cool. It's fun.
I think it's a really cool card too.
What's tight though is like at Nova. At Nova, when I picked up the game, it was like game all day, you know, whatever, and then like we'd go to the bar, and you can like you're like still hanging out and like play. You can play game like we're talking about the nerd bar at the hotel. So it's like everybody's still gaming, and it's fun to be able to just sit there and bro out and trade cards around and sit there and play some table games.
I'd be more like, let's go to the parking lot. Let's make this a real party.
I feel you. I can't wait for you to come to Nova this upcoming year. Time's moving fast, dude. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be the Invitational, Warp Charge Gaming Invitational. Then we got.
Oh, also, Adepticon updated their waiting list, and man, I am so far down that waiting list for so many events except for teams.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no. Well,
yeah, I know I'll get in the champs. I'm not worried about that. I know teams will happen because I was further down the list last year on teams.
Yeah.
So I know that'll happen. But man, I'm really hoping Kill Team lets me in. But like, I'm that far down on the Kill Team list as I am the champs list.
God, yeah, that's
like, there is like 40 people waiting for that Friday Kill Team.
They need a bigger venue, dude. They need to pull an LVO and like be like, oh, we got 100 more slots or something.
The only difference, LVO's in a giant casino. Yeah. Where this is just at like a little convention center, and I mean a little convention center.
Speaking of which, you should really check out that link I sent you. There's a sweet podcast that was it's like episode 613 or something. It's all about the 7-year anniversary of.
Yeah, I watched
Frontline Gaming. Yeah, that was really cool. That was really cool. I mean, 7 years to hear the ups and downs and the sacrifices and chances they made and the ways they reached success and partnering with different businesses. It was very cool. So Also just the growth of the tournaments and talking about Adepticon being one of the few and only, and the way that game mats are like a thing that's just like assimilated into the natural sway of things. But there used to be a day where there wasn't sweet neoprene like mats and shit. It's crazy. Anyways, though, man, we are an hour and a half in. We had a lot of conversation today about 3D.
Well, we brought in Eric.
Yeah. 3D printing, talking about tournaments and chapter approved. There's so much stuff going on. I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. We've had like 8 people hanging out with us up till now. I know we've reached our usual numbers, about 12, 13 folks. For those out there still watching, thanks a lot. I saw Eve Pigsy. I hadn't seen you tune in before, at least with that title there, and it's nice to have you. Thank you. I saw Shadizo tune in. Shadizo was fresh to the channel as of last week we met, and glad to see you back. We had Gordito Spree and Chicken Bone here as usual. Haven't seen Tau Dark in a while. We need to link up with him so we can send him some dice. We talked a little bit about our community page and how we're starting to be able to integrate with y'all with some work in progress or things you want to share off. You can always jump over to our Facebook group as well. Heads up is that Facebook group might become closed and available to patron members only. If you sign on now and are one of those early adopters, we'll let you stick around. Love to have you there. We're going to start putting some exclusive content in that group probably very soon. But yeah, great to have all these new folks. Zombie Dad from Australia. Oh, East Pigsy said, just found you guys from the Kill Team on YouTube and watching the Nova games. Great stuff. Thanks a lot. Nice. Shadizo's gluing his hell blasters. Awesome. Well, yeah, I really appreciate you guys hanging out. I'm glad, Eve Pixie, that you caught the Kill Team stuff. I'm extremely... Oh, I got this damn flyer up. I'm extremely passionate about Kill Team, and it's honestly my favorite thing going right now. But we started with 40K, and we got a big love for that in the heart. It's probably our foundation for sure.
It's the only game I play.
Yeah, only game James is down with. But we are ever growing, and this is an evolving situation here at Warp Charge Gaming. Thank you for joining us in the grand experiment, the dream machine that it is. We're going to continue to go forward here. We are young. This is episode 33, and we hope to see you next week for number 34.
Keep taking fun seriously, guys.
Yeah, that's what's up. Everybody take care out there. Thanks for tuning in.